Identity is critical and key in terms of being properly equipped and to function in the eternals, to know who I am in Christ and who he is in me. And one set of scriptures, there's actually two sets in the Old Testament that will kind of reference something that maybe we've never confessed before, articulated and expressed and said out loud. It's good to say, I am more than a conqueror through him who loves me. It's good to say that out loud to your atmosphere. And I am the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus. It's good to say that out loud. I am more than a conqueror. All of that. It's good to say that out loud and articulate that to your atmosphere. I'd like to add to the list something a little different. Something I found just a show that I watched, and I saw how this particular person ingested the lilies of the valley. And lilies are not something you can go ahead and decorate your salad with. How many of you know you can't do that even with your poinsettias at Christmas? All these pretty red leaves. I want to get these leaves and put it in my salad. How many of you know that would be a bad idea? Dangerous to go ahead and do that. It's the same with the lilies of the valley. The lilies of the valley, specifically referenced in the Old Testament, in Song of Songs, in Song of Solomon, lets us know that the bride says, I am a rose of Sharon, I am a lily of the valley. And then he, the bridegroom, says to the bride, you are a lily among thorns. And then if we were to go ahead and look at Hosea chapter 14, in Hosea chapter 14, he specifies, I will heal Israel of their backslidings. I will love them freely, for my anger has been turned from them. I, the Father, will be like the dew to Israel. Israel shall be a blossom like the lily to me. Awesome. In terms of identity, we discover just these two sets of scriptures in Song of Solomon chapter 2, verses 1 and 2, and Hosea chapter 14, starting with verse 4, we find out that the object of the Father's love, the object of the bridegroom's love, who is the bride, is you and I, is that we are lilies. I know, saying that to the atmosphere, maybe it doesn't feel very manly for some of us guys. I'm a lily. If you called me a lily at one point in time, maybe those were fighting words. But without question, looking at it in the scriptures, I saw it on this show, how lilies, I'm thinking, no, wait, that's a Bible flower and reference, the lilies of the valley. And I always thought it depicted Christ. Christ is the lily of, nope. That's wrong. That is inaccurate. To be biblically accurate, you and I are the lilies. He calls us a lily. And that lily has a fragrance and aroma, and that's the whole reason why it's referenced in the scriptures, is that very reason, is that there's a wonderful fragrance and aroma. And the Father says that the object of my love, my people, in the Old Testament Israel, they were considered lilies. In the New Testament, the true Israel, you and I, as believers, are now the aroma of the lilies. It says it right here in 2 Corinthians chapter 2. The Apostle Paul says it. I want to get the accurate. I want to go ahead and read the whole thing. I just think it's awesome. But thanks be to God, who always, say always, but thanks be to the Father who always leads us as captives in Christ's triumphal procession. And he uses us. The Father uses us. The Father uses us to spread the aroma of the knowledge of him everywhere. The Father uses us to spread the aroma of the knowledge of him everywhere. For we are to the Father the pleasing aroma of Christ. Who are? It says we are. We are to the Father the pleasing aroma of Christ. We are the lilies, spoken of in Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 1 and 2, where the bride says, the bride, you and I, the bride says, I'm a rose of Sharon. I am the lily of the valley. Awesome. How many of you saw that, wait a minute, the lily of the valley, in a sense, has kind of two natures to it. It has that pleasing fragrance, aroma that's referenced in the scriptures. But we've also found out that if ground up and improperly digested, the lily of the valley, if you grind it up and you slip that into someone's tea, it would compromise their health, if not kill them. So something so, ornate and beautiful and has that sweet fragrance and aroma. And that's the whole point of the lily. It carries that strong fragrance and aroma. Something so beautiful that has that fragrance and aroma has another nature to it that can go ahead and deal a death blow when it's crushed. And in these moments and times of quarantines and COVID-19 and what's going on, and many people have lost their lives, and the seriousness of it all, may the lilies of the valley rise up and function and be the aroma of Christ, which brings life to some and death to others. May the aroma and the crushing of who we are bring life to some and death to the spirit of death that would want to compromise our nation. We function in identity. Our identity kind of opens to us our destiny right in front of us. And this is a time and moment when you and I can step up and say, hey, my identity matters. Who I am matters. And my identity as being a lily of the valley has a fragrance and aroma that is life to one. But to those who are perishing, it's death. It has the fragrance and the aroma of death, the Apostle Paul said there in 2 Corinthians chapter 2. We are the lily of the valley. But we also carry within us the toxins that deal a death blow to the thing and stuff and virus that would want to compromise our nation and cause us to live in habitual fear. So it is a time to celebrate and to say, yeah, I'm a lily. Oh, say it out loud to your atmosphere. I function as a lily of the valley, and I am the aroma of Christ to my Father. But to those on a horizontal level, I bring life. But the aroma of who we are, he uses us, it says. I did read that, right? For we are to God the pleasing aroma. We are, the we. Functioning together. We bring a fragrance and an aroma of life to some. But the lily of the valley, when crushed and improperly digested, can go ahead and deal a death blow to the things that have tried to compromise our life, our health, and our peace, our safety, and our faith. So we rise up at this time and we celebrate the Father saying that we are a lily among thorns. There's something about, in other words, she says about him, the bridegroom, oh, he's down there, he's among the lilies. And he comes back and says, yeah, but you're a lily among the thorns. You're not just a one woman amidst a bunch. Compared who you are compared to the rest, everyone else is thorns compared to the beauty and ornateness of who you are and the fragrance and the aroma that you carry. We've been strategically placed in the kingdom for such a time as this, to function as the lilies. That we bring life, and that life be magnified in the cells of people who hear and just smell the aroma of who we are. And the crushing that takes place. And if you grind it to a powder and it's improperly digested, it deals a death blow to that which would want to go ahead and compromise our lives. It's a great day to be alive, to function as the lilies. Read it. Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verses 1 and 2. Read Hosea, chapter 14, start with verse 4. I'm going to heal them of their backslidings. I'm going to be like dew to them, and they shall be a lily. We are the lilies of the field. Jesus even said it. Consider the lilies of the field. We consider. In 40 days of equipping, we consider. We consider the lilies. The awesome, pleasing aroma to our Father. It's a great day to be alive. It's a great day to be alive. Function as the lilies of the field. You have a twofold nature. Your worship carries the wonderful oscillating frequencies of the Father's colors of love and power in the atmosphere of today that deals a death blow to all the creeping stuff that would want to go ahead and compromise our nation compromise the nations of the world. It's a great day to be alive.